From Washington, the Mclaughlin Group, the American original. For over 2 decades, the sharpest minds, best sources, hardest talk.
Geico, committed to providing service to its auto insurance customers for over 70 years. More information on auto insurance at geico.com or 1-800-947-AUTO, any time of the day or night.
If, for such a small word, it packs a wallop. If I live to 100, if Social Security isn't enough, if my heart gets broken, if she says yes. We believe IF should never hold you back. IF should be managed with a plan that builds on what you already have. Together, we can create a personal safety net, a launching pad for all those brilliant ifs in the middle of life. You can call on our expertise and get guarantees for the if in life. After all, we're MetLife.
Investing takes perspective. It comes from navigating up and down markets for 60 years, spotting opportunities at home and abroad. Global investing from Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
It's the 29th Annual Mclaughlin Group Year-End Awards, 2010, Part 1. Here's the Master of Ceremonies, John Mclaughlin.
Biggest winner of 2010, Pat.
The Tea Party is America's party, John. The Tea Party is the biggest winner of 2010.
Eleanor.
I agree with Pat, and so I'll single out one of the beneficiaries, and that's Marco Rubio, the senator-elect from Florida, who Cuban-American, young, attractive, charismatic, likely presidential material.
Fingered by the Tea Party.
Well, it's a question of who got on whose bandwagon, but
well, how Tea Party he is.
As the only real Tea Party person on this panel, I can attest to the fact that yes, the Tea Party was the biggest winner, and this year they went from just being a movement to being mainstream America and bringing America back to constitutionally limited government, fiscal responsibility, and free markets.
Thanks for clarifying all that.
You're welcome.
Clarence, welcome.
I was thinking Tea Party, but John, I chose John Boehner because I think he's an even bigger winner than the Tea Party because he gets to be Speaker and didn't have to really do that much work to do it because the Tea Party did most of it for him.
Right. The envelope, please, Monica.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
That jacket, I'm blind.
You're
How am I going to
blinded.
make it through the rest of the
How do you
show?
like this jacket,
Blind.
Pat?
Put it to the head, Karnak. Karnak the Magnificent.
You think this jacket reminds you of a blanket of a horse?
That's
Isn't that what your usual line is?
Yeah, some horse out at Pimlico is freezing to death, John, right now.
The biggest winner of 2010, Latin America.
oh,
The model for a continental federation was the European Union, the EU. Now the EU's currency, the euro, is tanking, and a debt crisis now afflicts Great Britain and 4 other members. So a newly regional federation leads the world, namely Latin America. Its economy this year growing at a whopping 7.5%. Latin America, biggest winner of 2010.
And they're making ethanol, too.
And they're making ethanol.
That's right.
John,
We start
is this
And
some
Brazil is a superpower.
There you
Okay,
go. Is this
biggest
some-
loser, Pat.
The biggest loser is liberalism in the persona of Nancy Pelosi. But liberalism in America and liberalism in the West, we're in an era of austerity and downsizing of government, John.
Eleanor.
yeah, but once they start downsizing, watch liberalism come back. The biggest losers I have are on the capitalism side, and those are the 3 Republican CEO candidates, Meg Whitman, Carly Fiorina, and Linda McMahon, who spent upwards of $200 million and lost each of their respective races.
Monica.
Biggest loser is Obamaism, also known as big government progressivism, because there was a wholesale rejection of it in November during the midterms.
Charlie Rangel, he was the biggest loser of the year in my view because here's a guy who had really a remarkable life, went all the way up to a chairman of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, and then had this real end. It's just a sad situation for him.
President Barack Obama. George W. Bush took 5 years to burn through his political capital. Barack Obama did it in 2 years. And 2 weeks ago suffered the collapse of his Democratic majority in the House. President Obama, biggest loser of 2010. Pat, best politician.
Chris Christie of New Jersey. Been chopping budgets left and right and retains 50% support and is wanted by Republicans to come and speak for him all over America, may be a vice presidential nominee.
John Boehner, been in the Congress since 1990, part of the original Gingrich revolution, just kind of slipping and sliding, and he's inherited the speakership, and so far he's done a pretty good job incorporating the new red-hot Tea Party people with the corporate Republicans.
Monica.
I'm going to give it to the entire Republican Party, which was left for dead and called a desiccated relic after the 2008 elections, but they have since made like Lazarus and come back big time, primarily by staying unified.
I'm giving it to Bill Clinton. Things are looking better and better for his legacy, and if he'd been out there selling Obama's programs this past year, I think Obama would have done better.
But best politician of 2010, Scott Brown, a Republican who won the vacant Senate seat left by the beloved deceased Democrat Ted Kennedy. Republican Brown defeated Democrat Martha Coakley, former Massachusetts Attorney General, 52-47, a 120,000 vote margin, a stunning upset for the Democrats. Okay, worst politician, Pat.
I'm sorry to say it's one of ours, John and Monica. Sal Palladino. Sal Palladino, the Republican candidate for governor of New York, who told the New York Post, "Listen, buddy, I'm going to take you out."
Worst politician. I'm happy to say it's one of yours. Martha Angle, who ran against Harry Reid.
Sharon
Angle was Martha Coakley, whatever. Sharon Angle,
also bad,
with 2 R's. Ran against Harry Reid. Harry Reid was given up for dead. She made possible for him to win his race. Thank you, Sharon.
I'm going to give this to the entire Democratic Party because in defiance of the American people, they rammed through a number of big government, big spending, high tax, anti-growth policies, and in the process, slit their own throats.
Clarence.
I'm going with Carl Palladino as well. He really just, every time he opened his mouth, it just got worse and worse for him, but he was very entertaining for the media and the rest of us.
Worst politician, Mike Castle of Delaware, the ultimate sore loser. A career politician who ran for the Republican Senate nomination against a novice, Christine O'Donnell. O'Donnell won. Get this. Castle then refused to endorse O'Donnell, his party's nominee. He denounced her to the press. Mike Castle, worst politician of 2010. Okay, most defining political moment, Pat.
The BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, which became Barack Obama's Katrina moment and brought him down to a point whence he has never yet come back.
Eleanor.
Oh, I don't think it was anywhere near the Katrina level destruction.
We got to keep moving.
Defining moment, the passage of health care this year, universal health care. It's the president's biggest accomplishment. It's also put the biggest target on his back, but it will survive.
Yes, and the passage of Obamacare led to my most defining political moment, which was November 2nd, 2010. The midterm elections, which shifted the whole balance of power in Washington, D.C. and gave the House of Representatives in a stunning and historic way to the Republicans.
It was heaven.
It was heavy.
Clarence.
I think the moment that will etch this year in my memory is Obama getting a busted lip while playing basketball. I mean, this is his game, and when that happened, I said, oh no, things are going so bad for him. Even in the basketball game, he gets a busted lip.
Most defining political moment, Republican Senator Mitch McConnell in a televised speech declaring that the Republican Party's top priority in the 2012 election, 2 years from now, is this: make Obama a one-term president.
Well,
2010's most defining.
It's a surprise that they want to make him a one-term president.
Hey, most defining political moment. That was the category.
Not smart
Okay,
to say.
turncoat of the year.
LeBron James, the great basketball player,
Good one.
walks away from Cleveland and turns his back on the hometown fans and goes to Miami and does it in a big televised show. Backhands his own people.
Did he get away with it?
I don't think he got away with it. They're booing him all over the league.
Eleanor.
I
Wait.
interpret turncoat as a positive thing, and I give it to Lisa Murkowski, who left the Republican Party, ran as a write-in candidate. She stood up to the Tea Party and lived to tell the tale.
What is she now? Declared independent?
Well, no, she's still a Republican.
She's still a Republican, but she ran as a write-in without party.
Okay, Monica.
Turncoat of the year, Army Private First Class Bradley Manning. That traitor went into a computer system where he had access to top secret documents, downloaded reams of these top secret documents onto a Lady Gaga CD, and passed them off to WikiLeaks.
Clarence.
What a desecration of Lady Gaga, too.
True.
But it is true. LeBron James is very good. In that spirit, though, if you have a winning team, you can make up for being a turncoat. And that's why my pick is Barack Obama's giving up on the tax breaks for the rich and angering many Democrats. But I think in the long run, it's going to be a winner for him.
Turncoat of the year, Mossab Youssef, the son of a founding member of Hamas, the notorious organization described as terrorist. Despite this family tie to Hamas, Mossab not only renounced Hamas, but changed his faith to Christianity. Then he announced that he was a spy for Israel. I mean, clearly the turncoat of the year. Would you not say? Okay, most boring person, Pat.
Well, this is the famous Greenspan Lieberman Trophy, which is annually given, John, to the most boring person. I think we've got to give it this year to Harry Reid. He ought to get some award. He's got to be one of the most boring politicians I've ever heard.
And a winner.
Well, I give it to his opposite number in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, who, when he said his number one priority was to defeat President Obama, that's not inspirational to a country where we have significant unemployment, and they're looking to the Senate to do some other things besides just politicking. And he is so one-dimensional in his speechifying.
It was raw meat for the Heritage Foundation, right? Monica.
Most boring. I'm going to give it to President Obama, who went from being the most electrifying presence on the scene for years, starting from that 2004 speech he gave at the Democratic Convention, through the 2008 campaign, to being the most boring drone in Washington.
I'd say Rand Paul is just as boring for me. I mean, a guy who started out with the son of Ron Paul, incoming senator, a guy who started out, I thought, what sounded like exciting ideas until I realized they were warmed over Ayn Rand. And it's going to be interesting to see if he, how things turn out once he hits the real world on Capitol Hill.
He's an optometrist?
Yes.
Most boring. Presidential Press Secretary Robert Gibbs, a total snooze. But paradoxically, also the nation's biggest ongoing newsmaker. Most boring and most newsy. Gibbs. Figure it out, Pat. Okay, most charismatic.
I think it's Marco Rubio, the Cuban-born heartthrob of the Tea Party.
Really?
Yes, I do. Of all the people this year, it's not a very charismatic year, as somebody said.
That's right.
As Clarence said, and I think he tops the charts.
He talks too fast. Eleanor.
No, I think Ms. Buzz herself, Sarah Palin, has got to be the most charismatic.
Most charismatic, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He's a tell-it-like-it-is kind of guy. He single-handedly took on the state's powerful teachers union, and he got a lot of Democrats to go along with him in trying to get the budget under control by cutting spending, not raising taxes.
Clarence.
All good picks. I, though, pick Marco Rubio. Like Pat, we're agreeing much too much today. But when I heard Rubio's acceptance speech, it reminded me of Obama's 2004 Democratic Convention speech. I said, no wonder people are excited about this guy. It's going to be interesting.
The most charismatic, it's obviously George Clooney, exhibiting geniality, generosity, leadership, notably this year's globe-trotting for the UN as a special envoy dealing with human rights issues in Africa, particularly in Darfur. George Clooney. Okay, BUMMEST rap, Pat.
The firing of General Stanley McChrystal, a soldier over some silly interview with comments in Rolling Stone.
Right on. Eleanor.
That the Islamic Cultural Center in New York is a terrorist threat. Bum rap.
Monica.
BUMMEST rap that the GOP is the party of no. Actually, they were the party of stop. Stop spending, stop government intervention, stop Obamacare, stop tax increases, which is exactly what the American people wanted.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
Clarence.
You and I are thinking alike.
Right?
The Ground Zero Mosque, which is not at Ground Zero, it's not a mosque, and that whole brand just got stuck on it, and it became the political issue.
BUMMEST rap, the rap against TARP, T-A-R-P, Troubled Asset Relief Program. TARP has saved the world from global economic collapse. Yet President Obama, Summers, and Geithner get no credit. It's a bum rap not to give them credit. Okay, fairest rap.
Charlie Rangel was censured. Our old friend, who's a good guy, he should have known better. I think it's a fair rap.
Eleanor.
My olive branch to the other side, fair rap. President Obama has not lived up to expectations.
Really? Put that down and write it. Have it notarized. Monica.
I want her to repeat that. I'll give up mine.
It's on tape.
Well, you're doing all right with what you're working with.
FAIREST wrap. Julian Assange and his massive WikiLeaks document dumps are serious damage to America's national security. They are acts of war against the United States, acts of sabotage, and they're endangering American and allied lives.
And there's a lot more to be mined.
Unfortunately.
Clarence.
Yeah.
Well, coincidentally, I think the BUMMEST wrap is the GOP is the party of no after going back on some of their own ideas and programs once they had Obama's name attached to them.
FAIREST wrap. The wrap against BP oil and its deep sea drilling in the Gulf that led to a massive oil spill, killing 11 people and destroying the regional economy. FAIREST wrap. Okay. Best comeback, Pat.
Elliot Spitzer, the rising star of CNN.
Governor Jerry Brown, next new governor of California, 27 years after he was the youngest governor of California.
Best comeback, President George W. Bush. After years of abysmal poll numbers, he came back this year with a best-selling memoir, and now guess what? His poll numbers are actually surpassing President Obama's. It's karma.
I have a tie, John. Hang on to your hat. Harry Reid, who was given up for dead and won at the 11th hour, won re-election. And Bobby Jindal, who was also given up for dead, is now a rising star again.
Best comeback, GM, General Motors. 2 years ago, they were seen as a goner, kaput. Today, GM is back on the New York Stock Exchange, gained 1% on its price, and put nearly $2 billion back into the U.S. Treasury. Also, the GM Chevy Volt could revolutionize automaking. Best comeback. Pat, most original thinker.
This fellow Robert Weisberg has written a new book which goes after the entire education industry. It's titled, Not Bad Schools, Bad Students Are the Problem.
Elizabeth Warren, who came up with the idea for the Consumer Protection Agency that she will now help create.
Monica.
President Obama and Vice President Biden for conjuring up this bogus concept of jobs created or saved to justify $1 trillion in failed stimulus, while the unemployment rate still hovers around 10%.
Clarence.
Julian Assange, who I agree is dangerous, and I'm not comfortable with what he's doing out there, but looking back, I think people are going to say his ideas are going to have tremendous impact, for good or evil to come.
Most original thinker, Rupert Murdoch, the Australian newspaper baron who purchased the Wall Street Journal, stayed by the book newspaper, mostly read for its stock market data. Today, it's the #1 newspaper in circulation in the United States. Most original thinker, Rupert. Okay, most stagnant thinker, Pat.
The Democratic Party endlessly caterwauling about no tax cuts for the rich. That's all we heard all year long. Give it a rest.
About 70% of the public is caterwauling right along with the Democrats.
Keep on caterwauling.
Stagnant thinker, Senator John McCain and his opposition to repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Even his wife and his daughter have parted company with him on that one.
Caterwaul now. Right? Monica.
Most stagnant, Nancy Pelosi, who refuses to leave the House leadership in any way other than feet first.
I got another tie, Rand Paul and Christine O'Donnell, nice people, but old ideas.
Most stagnant thinker, collective award. The teachers' union that staunchly opposes merit pay, charter schools, and firing. In fact, it is anti all of the reforms that society favors to better our education system. Okay, best photo op.
Those Chilean miners coming up in that capsule after more than 2 months and really a death trap about a couple thousand feet underground.
Eleanor.
The underwater video camera chronicling the oil flow into the Gulf.
Monica.
Yeah, well, those were my top 2 picks, so I'll just reiterate. No, I swear to God. The Chilean miners, Los 33, coming up in that capsule one by one.
Well, it's hard to top that, except maybe with both Glenn Beck and Jon Stewart's rallies on the Mall as being some defining moments of this year.
The best photo op is TSA body scans. Full frontal, best photo op. Okay, enough already award, Pat.
Can we make this unanimous? Lady Gaga.
No, I love Lady
Shakira,
Gaga.
it's
Gaga, too,
Shakira,
right
it's
on.
not Gaga. What does Gaga got? Long eyelashes?
The Palins, the reality
Crystal?
show, the daughter on Dancing with the Stars, the whole schmear. Enough already.
Monica.
Blaming President Bush and the Republicans for driving the economic car in the ditch. The Democrats have owned this economy for 2 years now. Blaming Bush, it's enough already.
Clarence.
Sarah Palin's Alaska, although it was fascinating to watch her beat that fish to death there with a club.
Enough already. Pouting liberals. From political journals to newspaper columns to talk shows, all you get is finger pointing, pouting, pretext. Liberals lost big. Stop whining. Get over it. Forget about it. Let your recovery go forward.
I have a lot to pout about, John.
Worst lie.
The worst lie is the Arizona immigration law reminds us of Nazi Germany. 70% of the country approved it. States all over the country are emulating it. A huge lie, Eleanor.
The worst lie that Obama's policies didn't work. The recovery plan, the auto car bailout, and TARP, which began under President Bush, all worked quite well.
Worst
Monica.
lie, if you like your current health plan, you'll be able to keep it.
Clarence.
Fox News, fair and balanced. Second year in a row.
Worst lie. President Obama has quit smoking. Capitalist of the year, Pat.
Steve Jobs of Apple, John, iPad, they moved him ahead of Microsoft. And secondly, Alan Mulally of the Ford Motor Company. He didn't take a bailout, and Ford Motor Company is #1 American auto company and rising in the world.
Hold
Sidney Harman, who's really more philanthropist than capitalist,
boss.
and I have a vested interest in this. He purchased Newsweek, and I've been with Newsweek virtually my entire adult life, and he has given us a new lease on life. Let's hear it for Sidney Harman. Exactly.
Non-generic.
Yes, and proud of it.
Capitalist of the year, I'm going to give it to the Chinese communists who managed the global recession the right way, unlike us. They did a targeted stimulus and they did tax cuts. And by the way, the Chinese communists are right to lecture us about the dangers of deficits and inflation.
That's a good pick.
Thank you.
Crypto capitalists. Is that what they are?
Yeah, well, right now they're more capitalists than we are.
State
It's
capitalism.
state capitalism.
Are they
exactly.
coming
Managed-
out? When are
it's
they going to come out of the
managed
closet? When are they
capitalism.
going to come out of the closet?
I think they already are,
They
John.
are. They are.
They're whooping everybody.
They don't even want.
Clarence.
Anyway, where was I? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. Here's a guy with 500 million friends out there, and plus he gets a Hollywood movie made about himself. Such a deal.
Don't forget the big point.
The big point?
He's worth $6.5 billion.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
That too.
26 years old. Mark Zuckerberg is the
I hate
capitalist
him.
of the year. You hate him.
I hate him.
He founded, what is it called?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes.
Okay. And he's going to give half of that to charity?
Yes.
When
To
he's,
the Gates charity,
getting-
right?
When, right away?
Gates and Buffett.
or after he's
Oh,
deceased?
I don't know. He's probably checking the income tax implications.
Honorable mention, Pat.
It's your guy. Where's yours?
For person of the year.
Yeah. Zuckerberg.
Who's your businessman of the year?
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. Oh, yeah, I agree with
Honorable mention. I've got to go with John Boehner. Quite frankly, after Sarah Palin, enormous winner, Speaker of the House, did a great job. He did learn from Newton, and I think Boehner and the Tea Party guys could be a very powerful combination because they understand each other and their interests are coterminous.
I've got two. Nancy Pelosi, who will be treated much kinder in the history books than the voters treated the Democrats this time around. She's been a very effective speaker, and she's still got more heavy lifting to do for the president with his tax package. And she'll be around, and she'll be making Monica angry for the next couple of years.
Oh, good. I have
And
that to look
and then I
forward
want to mention Elizabeth Edwards, who passed away recently. She really was the definition of grace under pressure, not only with her illness, but with the turmoil that she went through in her personal life. She was an inspiration to many people suffering with cancer and to many people who just admire resilience in people in public life.
This is true.
Honorable mention for Person of the Year, I'm going to give it to Army Staff Sergeant Sal Junta, who became this year the first living recipient of the Medal of Honor since Vietnam.
The honorable mention for the time I have available for this is as follows. Edison Pena, the Chilean miner, one of the survivors of the 69 days trapped at the bottom of a mine shaft, as I think it's been noted here. He runs 6 miles per day through the mine tunnels. Then less than 1 month after being rescued, Pena ran the New York City Marathon in 5 hours and 40 minutes.
5 hours and 40 minutes?
5 hours and 40 minutes, I think. It wasn't 51 seconds, as a matter
Pretty
of fact.
long, John.
Took too long?
Yeah.
He had
They
to stop
close
to
it
have
down
his-
after 4, don't they?
He had to stop after he
Hey,
had
John?
a knee problem,
John?
and they kind of rubbed him over.
John, I'd like to hear
What
Clarence's
is Clarence?
I
honorable
was going to say the
mention.
Tea Party also, and they do share the goals with John Boehner, but different methods. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they work together pragmatically.
I'm looking forward to next year declaring the Tea Party the biggest loser of the year. They're
Don't hold your
already losing the ban on earmarks.
Don't hold
do
your
you
breath. They're
have-
not going anywhere. Now they're really mad because of the Republicans wavering on the earmark ban.
I think we recognize the political contribution of Sarah Palin, but you really think that the Republicans are going to nominate her as the leader of their ticket 2 years from now?
It's within the realm of possibility that she could win the nomination, and that's why you see so many sort of standard issue Republicans trying to bring out her negatives now in hopes of thwarting that, because
many
they think
Democrats
she's a
hope that she
loser.
does.
They think she'd be, the party's George McGovern, if you will.
Okay, here it is. Person of the year. Pat.
Sarah Palin, not only the charisma, but the comeback of the year, the major force now in the Republican Party, the darling of the Tea Party, and probably gets the pole position in the paddock for the presidential election of 2012.
Really? Hello.
President Clinton, he's the man of the moment. He was most in demand on the campaign trail. He's now strategizing with President Obama on how to move forward with a divided Congress, and he's a philanthropist around the world. And Democrats love him, even the liberals who had their problems with him when he was in the White House. Everybody loves Bill Clinton, even conservatives do.
I'm giving it to the servicemen and servicewomen of the United States military. They turned around Iraq, they're fighting valiantly in Afghanistan, and they continue to fight Islamic terror around the world.
Clarence.
People of the year.
Here. Since the person here doesn't have to be the best person, I'm going to say Julian Assange, because he is launching a debate about the nature of what is a journalist, what is secret, what should be secret. It's going to go on and on.
Oh, forget
Could
about
be
it.
time
Will you,
magazine.
Clarence? Person
Yeah,
of the year?
it's happening.
Oh, Hillary Clinton this year. She definitely worked with world leaders, aligned herself with Defense Secretary Robert Gates, remains incredibly popular, and now more than ever, she is being considered for a presidential run in 2012. You're shaking your head.
No.
Assange has done real damage to Hillary Clinton.
You think Assange is going to run for president?
No, but I agree with the man of the year. I think
Next
he may
week,
be right.
join us for the Mclaughlin Group 2010 Awards, Part 2. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Geico, committed to providing service to its auto insurance customers for over 70 years. More information on auto insurance at geico.com or 1-800-947-AUTO, any time of the day or night.
There's a world of investment opportunities out there. Spotting them takes experts on the ground, assessing potential firsthand. Templeton, a pioneer in global investing for over 50 years. Gain from our perspective.